You're listening to the Pace Radio Network, here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day and welcome to the Mushie moment with myself and my awesome co-host, Rev Cindy. We're live today on Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. Coming to you live on paceradio.net, CBG TV, and we stream everywhere.
Everywhere.
How you doing today?
Ooh, I'm doing really good at the moment. How are you?
I am good. Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable in my chair here, but I need to pull it closer. Give me a second, because it's a big old clunky one. There we go.
It is.
There. Yeah, it's been an interesting beginning to the year.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting more and more interesting. I know that, you started something really, really, really exciting, and I'm actually jealous of. I don't get jealous very often, but I have to say, this I am actually jealous of. And one day in my future, I will do this.
Yeah. It's a pretty exciting thing. I mean, it's a very new medicine in retrospect to a lot of the other sacred medicines. It's very new. I've been learning a lot. I watched an incredible documentary today about Albert Most, the gentleman who found 5-MeO DMT. That's best way I can put it right now in my excited mind, because right now I really do have an excited mind. I watched a documentary today that I learned a little bit about, Ken Nelson, who is Albert Most, and how he found 5-MeO and how he tried 5-MeO the first time, and it was quite interesting and very exciting.
So tell a little bit about the course of what you're doing. Just give a little bit on it.
I am taking the 5 course. The 5 course is it's a 5-MeO DMT facilitators course. It is out of the Tandava retreat in Mexico, just north, about an hour north of Mexico City, actually. It was co-founded by 2 very beautiful people. Victoria, I haven't pronounced her last name yet, and Joelle Briere. They are a couple, and they founded this beautiful educational course together. It's very in depth. We have some amazing people that have come along and spoke already, and we're only on week 2. Rak Razam was one of our first speakers. We are learning a lot via Hamilton Morris right now, and a lot of people may not know that name, but they might know the name Hamilton's Pharmacology. It is a docu-series on Vimeo, and that is actually, I was watching that to learn about Ken Nelson and Albert Most, that they are the same person. So if you have Vimeo, I highly recommend looking up Hamilton's Pharmacology. I'm already addicted and will be binge watching. Yeah. And then I finish up the course in September with going down for a practicum, where we serve each other and learn even more about the doing Bufo and how to receive Bufo, and everything that can possibly go wrong as far as they run into. And I'm learning that they run into a lot. I've already learned a lot of information about do's and don'ts, and we haven't even gotten to that part yet.
And one of the things that I found quite interesting in this program is the aspect of how integration is being addressed. It seems to be a
Yes,
big
yeah. Well, a big part of the course is 5-MeO DMT integration. It is a different psychedelic from most other psychedelics. It is veered as the strongest psychedelic, the godfather or grandfather of psychedelics type thing. It is veered as the most powerful psychedelic. You know, and of all the ones that I've done, I have to agree. For me, it was the most profound. So part of what we learn is how to integrate specifically for 5-MeO DMT as part of the course, which is just very, very cool.
And in my travels and research, I'm meeting people that, and with my own experience, that believe that 5-MeO very possibly is going to be one of the strong healers for people in heavy addiction, including fentanyl addiction. And that adds a lot of hope and excitement into my life and many lives for sure.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's actually been brought up in the course already is that 5-MeO is going to be an amazing tool in working with people with mental health injuries or mental health diseases, as well as those suffering from addiction, which I truly believe is a mental health disease as well as a physiological disease. And 5-MeO DMT can go a long way in helping people heal and find tools to heal. And it's a pretty beautiful medicine.
One of the things I think that just my own takeaway and noticing between medicines like the 5-MeO, the iboga, and the ayahuasca, they tend to not just help people through their addiction, but it tends to help people through the trauma that hold them in addiction.
Yeah, like there's a lot of detoxing medicine out there. Combo is another one. It's a wonderful detoxing medicine, but it also it'll work more physiologically, but it does work, psychologically as well. But they all tend to work on the whole person. They go where they're needed, and they always seem to know where they're needed.
Yes, that's one of the things I've really been discovering is the layers. The layers that come off. Different medicines will take off different layers, but even doing the same medicine a few times, each one will just peel back a layer of, oh, look what I was carrying and I don't really need anymore. And it just gives you kind of a period of newfound freedom. And then, you'll go on and then, oh, look, here's some more of some more behaviors and shields that I've put up that are no longer needed. And the next time you go through it, another layer comes off, and you just keep finding newfound freedom with them. Well, should I go on my rant now?
Yeah. Just a little precursor. Like we are both on an amazing path. And we're learning new things every day, and it's inspired, as Steve has called it, a bit of a rant, but it's really just a lot of information, and I think it's going to be interesting.
Well, I'll just start with yesterday. I went to a celebration of life for one of my friends, and he was a friend for over 30 years. He is an uncle to my kids. He's a father to my niece. And he, ended up in addiction quite a few years ago and was living on the downtown east side. He was working at an overdose prevention site, and he's saved a lot of lives, helped a lot of people. And I'm just going to bring in just a little something here. Just give me a second Let me see if it's coming up there. Okay. And this was Rob. And Rob was a DJ. Rob was a comedian. He had a great sense of humor. And he never ran judgment. At no point did I see him ever running judgment. And when I went to his memorial yesterday, one of the big things people said, it was for two people. There was another one, Gord Davis. They lost two friends in there. There's Gord and let me just make sure that one's come up. Yeah. So there's Gord and Rob. That was two of the workers there that they've lost. They were holding the memorial for on the same day. And Trey, one of the workers there, a long time. I believe that he's a big part of the organization. He talked about how it was only two because they'd done some for three, and he talked about how he was getting tired of. Look at the emotions coming up, eh? Getting tired of saying bye to his friends. And then he talked about how he tries not to get too close to people anymore because it just tends to hurt a bit too much. And it was beautiful to hear people talk about both of them and how they were remembered. And they were both remembered with love. And as friends and family members on the outside that aren't going down there to be involved in that life or keeping themselves away from that life, they don't get to know that people like Gordon, people like Rob saved many, many, many lives. They worked hard at saving lives. They worked hard at making people feel comfortable in the in that place. It's a safe place to use, so you can come in, and if you did overdose, they were right there. They have resources to try and help you if you feel like you might want to get out. They're just trying to keep people alive. And you and I, before the show, started to go through some of the stats. So I just want to read some of these stats because this has been going on a long time. It's been going on just in my life and what I've been dealing with it. About 10 years. And it was brutal when I was introduced to it. Now, this is a article. It was published November 30th and updated December 2nd. It was in CTV News. At least 2,039 British Columbians have lost their lives to toxic drugs so far in 2023. According to the latest data released from the BC Coroner Service, marking the third year in a row with more than 2,000 people have died from the province's ongoing crisis. The monthly report released Thursday says that there were 189 drug fatalities in October, approximately 6.1 deaths per day. It was also the 37th consecutive month that more than 150 people have died from suspected drug toxicity. It's not acceptable. Seriously, it's not acceptable. I'm going to bring that screen back, and I'm just going to toggle through a couple of these pages here. Share this tab. This one is from 2019. How do you explain the Vancouver's downtown east side to tourists? It's complicated. What you're looking at in that picture, you go down there on a Friday, even in this freezing cold, and it still looks like that. Let's go to this one. 7 years, more than 11,000 deaths. This was from April of 2023. It's not acceptable. Like this is I was walking with my daughter Katie downtown one day, and we were in that area, and she said to me, she said, Dad, I've told this story before. She said, Dad, these are my people. I feel at home. And I grabbed her and I hugged her. And I said, Pumpkin, nobody deserves to be here. This is a failing of our society. It's brutal down there, and it has been for many years. And we're losing people left and right. And the politicians go, we're trying this or we're trying that. You know what? If you want changes, take away their fucking pensions. You want change to happen? Hey, politicians, you don't get a fucking pension until this gets looked after. And if it doesn't get looked after in your time period in there, you get no pension. Fuck off. You want to see this shit get cleared up in a hurry? Take away their fucking pensions. This is horse shit that year after year we have to go through this. Year after year, the numbers keep going up. Oh, well, we're trying this, we're trying that. Let's try a multiple pronged approach rather than let's try this prong. Oh, it didn't really go good. Let's try this prong. Oh, it didn't really go good. You know, they attack the people that are trying the safe supply stuff. That OPS setup, they're trying to keep their friends alive. That's what they're there for. That's what they're trying to do. So, you know, why are they getting raided? Why are they getting hassled? And then guys like Rob, you know, don't use a loan. There's a guy that worked in that place. He knew. He worked there for years. He saved many lives. But the famous last words, it's okay. I've been getting it off my guy for years. And I know him and it's good. Those are famous words that I've fucking heard way too many times. You know, it's not okay. And we need to do something about it. And we write these stories and we put up the headlines and we have people come down and look at the stories and then people get scared. Oh, we got to work a little harder. We don't want to end up down there. How about we fix it? How about we fix the mental health issues? How about we fix the addiction issues? How about we fix the trauma issues so there's no reason for people to be down there? You know, the SROs, some of them are brutal. They're brutal, you know. But hey, at this point, it's still better than sleeping in a tent down at Crab Park. I went down there the other day. I can't even fathom it. Being out there in this freezing cold. You know, there's a story of one poor guy was just trying to cook himself a can of soup and it exploded and he died. It blew up down there in his little tent. Like, we're every story is another trauma that those people have to heal from. And not just those people, but these people that care, these people that have people down there that they care about. It's just more on more on more. And I watch politicians all, fuck your ass. No fucking pension. You don't fix it, no pension. How about we start that movement? You watch how fucking fast those politicians start dancing, making that happen. Actually, watch how fast people find out that they can't make that happen. People would find out right away, we don't have the ability to make that happen, take away their pensions. That's why they're in there. But it would sure work. That isn't actually my idea. I believe it was a comedian somewhere said that. You want politicians to start making policy happen, take away their pensions. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Truly, as a people, I think that would actually work. Because the only thing anybody seems to listen to is when your paycheck goes down a little bit, when it starts hurting you enough. You know, people walk by that down. Here, let me show you one. I'm going to bring in another, share this tab. Okay, where are we? Okay, is it up? Yes. Okay. What does this say? This is TripAdvisor, downtown East Side. Avoid 100 block Hastings in Maine and Hastings Juncture, but technically the downtown East Side includes Chinatown and more. Visitors to Vancouver should be aware of the downtown East Side as the location is concurrent with Chinatown and Gastown and dangerous area with rampant and open drug trafficking. Avoid even in daylight.
They're not wrong. Sadly, like it's bigger than that, and it's heartbreaking. I go to visit Vancouver. I go to visit my friends. I go to, take medicine. I go to have courses, and you can't avoid going downtown at some point in time. I mean, there's some of the places I like to visit are very close to the downtown East Side. And it's growing. I mean, every time I'm there, it's a half a block or more bigger. There are more people. And, and I guess that you're saying how cold it is there. There are places in Canada that are way colder than that. So this time of year, everybody from those cold areas, they're hitchhiking to places like Vancouver. So your population of people there, it's going to go up because people are coming for the warmer climate, because you do have the warmer climate compared to, say, Northern Ontario or even, Southern Ontario right now. Like they're getting, and look at Alberta with minus, 35, which is like minus 45 with the wind chill. People are leaving that and heading for Vancouver because at least minus 10 isn't as bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, and at least there's a community that can keep you safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they huddle together. But that comes, like what you said earlier, that comes with risks. I mean, it happened just here in New Brunswick just like last week. People were passed out, and they were passed out in a tent, and they woke up to the heater, I guess, had caught fire. And, this entire encampment was going up, specifically this one area. And unfortunately, they did lose one person, but he was able to save 2 other lives before he perished. But there's no need for that. Like, there is just no need for that. I mean, I look around and we have some abandoned buildings in Halifax, and they're abandoned, they're abandoned old hotels and whatnot. Why, and they could be turned into SROs as they have in Halifax, as they have in Vancouver, and house people there, and they're not. They've brought in some winter tents, and they do have a tiny home area being built where they are heated, lighted little buildings. It's actually going to be here in Windsor, as far as from what I can understand, was just announced that they're opening up this place for what do they're not calling them homeless anymore. They're calling unhoused, for the unhoused people. And then they just arrested somebody. They're calling him, a bad drug dealer, et cetera, because he was bringing cannabis to the Lower Sackville encampment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of mind blowing. There's CPS here. They supply a lot of cannabis products to a lot of the people suffering down the downtown East Side. It's it's funny because we'll give them dillies and we'll give them these other drugs, but don't give them the cannabis.
Keep going after me for the cannabis. Now, we have an extension of that here in Halifax. So they're in downtown Halifax, but I don't believe, honestly, I haven't asked, But as far as I know, they service downtown Halifax. They don't go to these other encampments that are all around the province. And the gentleman that was taking the cannabis to the Lower Sackville, I mean, he was selling it for a nominal fee, but it was a nominal fee. I don't think he was making much money off of it. But yeah, they got him for drug trafficking.
And then they'll make a big story so that anybody else that's going to go down there and help them won't go down. I have to say, when I was down at the encampment there, there was a couple of young ladies there with hot food, and they were going around each of the tents and contacting people and giving them plates of hot food that they were bringing around, which I thought was really quite nice. And man, it was cold. It was freezing. I was like, wow, this is, I can't, honestly, I can't even imagine it. It's mind-boggling to me.
No, and like we've got a much smaller province than you, obviously, and so therefore our problem is smaller in numbers compared to numbers. If we go, if we compare, the numbers per capita, we're probably still behind you, like lower than you, but not by much. But luckily, being a small enough province and a tight knit province. We have a lot of that. A lot of people showing up with food, a lot of people showing up with water. And the reason why we have these winter tents, as I'm calling them, that they, pallets have been donated, is not because the government is buying them. It is because a group of people have gotten together, they accept donations, they buy tents, and they distribute them. They buy winter blankets and they distribute them. People are getting together and like they're buying up heaters and and camp stoves and stuff like that so people can cook. And winterized sleeping bags. So, and then warming places are opening up all over the place, which is really beautiful to see. You see a lot of places are opening up with their showers. So like fire departments will allow people to go in and have a shower. So they're not stuck without, basic amenities like that. So, more is still needed, but it is beautiful to see what's happening in Nova Scotia. And, we are doing well. And I talk to people who, they don't have work and they're living on the streets and they panhandle and they are amazed at people's kindnesses with the panhandling. They don't have to go out and steal. They don't have to go out and sell drugs. They don't have to. And when I say drugs, I mean illicit drugs. They don't have to do these things because people are being kind enough with 50 cents or a toonie or something. And, they're able to walk away with enough money to eat and, help their neighbor who's in the next tent eat. And that's really kind of nice to see. It sucks that it has to happen, but it's nice to see that people are trying to step up and help.
I agree. And on that note, now's a good time for the break. So it's time to check out our sponsors, pay some bills. So you're here with us live on the Mushie Moment on paceradio.net, CBG TV, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net. People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Welcome back to the Mushie Moment, streaming live to you here at paceradio.net, CBG TV, and everywhere. Oh, I love putting on that kind of cheesy-ass DJ voice. All
I
right,
know.
how's everybody doing tonight? Rob had a really good DJ voice. He had the ability to pull off that character really quite well. It was interesting, you know. Oh, let me just run through a couple of these things here. I just want to run through a couple of the stats that we'd found on the year. So this one was, the unabated death rate is also taking a toll on first responders. Vancouver Fire Rescue Services wrote on social media Thursday that firefighters have already surpassed record overdose response calls this year. As of November 27th, the fire department said it has responded to 8,128 overdoses, compared to the 7,767 in all of 2021, the previous record high for overdose calls. So we're already over 1,000 more almost than. So the October deaths represent a 9% decrease from October of last year, but an increase from September. What was it? The worst month we've had was April of 2013, 234 fatalities. So we go to 2013, 234 fatalities. And it was, what were we riding? 176, I think it was. And we're 10 years later. Oh, look at the big difference. Look how great we've done. Oh, look how it's all been fixed. Like, seriously. I have a hard time actually comprehending the data when I'm looking at the data. And you look at the government squandering cash all over the place. What was one of the there was one in here. Let me find this one, because I found it was quite there was one here that was it in this article?
What was it?
It was here we are. According to the coroner's service, drug toxicity is the leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 59. It is the leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 59 in BC. Higher than homicides, suicides, accidents, and natural disease.
Combined.
All combined. Combined. I don't get why there isn't more attention, more government help, more financing to make that help happen. And as a person that's actually been down there and met a lot of people and hung out with a lot of people, mental health and trauma are seriously the leading reason that people are down there. You know, and I meet so many people down there that that thank me, one, for coming down, and two, for coming down to see my kids. And then they tell me about how their family quit coming to see them years ago, and how their family hasn't communicated with them for years. And I get it, because we had a program run that just, you know, tough love, cut them out. And if it can make you cold, and you can accept that up, then, you know, you'll be safe. But you're not safe. You're just cold. You're just cold and hard. You're making yourself colder and hard. And that isn't how we fix this problem. This problem gets fixed by us each recognizing that it's our brother, our sister, our mother, our father, our daughter, our son, or us. We need to bring it in and feel the compassion, feel the heart, and go, nobody deserves this. You know, people focus on addiction, but let's get to the root cause of why the addiction is happening. It's easy to point at addiction and say addiction is the problem. Addiction is the result of a problem. It's a result of bastardized and fucked up programming in our society. Why is it that every show that that comes out, there's always a hero having a drink with somebody somewhere, making that particular addiction okay? It's okay to keep indulging. It leads to the same place. We've created this little split in how we view things, but addiction is addiction is addiction. And addiction is a behavioral trait. And usually you can trace a whole bunch of your little tics or behavioral traits that aren't really self-serving and tend to hurt you, can be traced down to mental health or trauma. You know, Gabor Mate, he lit up my world. Following his stuff and reading his books lit up my world. His words make sense to me. In my lived experience, be it, you know, through the music industry and through family members in harsh addiction and friends in harsh addiction, his words make sense to me. You know, it's not why the addiction, it's why the pain.
Yep.
I don't know how we can get people to view it differently. But honestly, you know, you read those little articles. Stay away from the downtown east side. Bullshit. Go down and visit that OPS. Go in there and say hi. Go in there and meet some of those people. Oh, it's so scary. They're people. They're people that are hurting, trying to keep their pain at bay. Go in and meet the people that are trying to keep their friends alive. Make them human. How do we get soldiers to go out and kill people? We make the other guys not human. They're an enemy. They're a troop. Go get them. Oh, it's drug addiction. Bad guys. Oh, it's bad down there. Stay away. No. Go in and meet some of those people and realize that they're your brothers. They're your sisters. They're your mothers. They're your fathers.
There was one day when I took a break. It was just last week. Took a break from studying, and I was scrolling my phone just because I needed to do something mindless while I had a cup of tea. Once in a while, I come across those feel-good stories that they give you like a 3 to 5 minute story about whatever. I discovered any number of things through this. The Asher House is one of them. This guy that rescues dogs. He's pretty awesome down in the States. Another one was this guy. He created an app, and I was just looking for the app. I can't find it. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But what he had come across was, he had noticed that the homeless population was growing. And there was somebody that he stopped and helped one day. And, he talked to him and he recorded a bit of his story. And then he took his story and he put it on Facebook and he tried to find this guy's family. And this one had a happy ending. He did find this guy's family because this guy had a bit of a schizophrenia. So he, was off his meds and blah, blah, blah. I mean, we've all heard the stories. So he helped reunite this guy with his sister who had been looking for him for quite a while and was worried that he was dead. And, they connected. And when he saw that, something clicked in him that he could do that for other people. So he did. He continued to do it, and he grew the app. And it's run apparently all around the world. Again, I just tried to look it up quite quickly. I couldn't find it. But if it does come back across my feed again, I will do my best to share it so other people can see what I'm talking about.
Ah, that's pretty cool. That I haven't heard of. I've heard of the app they have for if you're using, and you can set it to go off, and if you don't respond when it goes off, they'll send first responders to you. I'm going to bring up one more. That wasn't what I was trying to do. Hang on. I was going to go to. Hang on. Sorry. I'm just trying to find this one. I'm going to share this tab. Did this come up? There we are. So this is the overdose prevention site on Facebook. They've got a little radio thing that's going on, and hang on, I've got to be in there to scroll back. So they've got it's like a little podcast radio show thing where people can go on and you can listen to real life stories of what's going on, and you can learn a little bit of reality in there. One thing about what they've got going on is it's real, and being down there to celebrate Gordon and Rob was, it was pretty massive for me. My niece was there, and her hubby was with her, and Rob's daughter. And we all got to hear a lot of people that had nothing but good to say about how hard he worked, how he gave people a spark of hope. He was the light. He was a light in the dark down there. Gordy was a light in the dark down there. I guess Gord would have his freakouts and rants and scare a lot of people, but he had his own mental health stuff to deal with. But he was still there, helping. They even in that well of darkness, they're working at being a spark of light for people. And I just got to say thanks to anybody that seriously puts themselves down there and does that kind of work. It's a tough thing. I honestly, I'm not there. I couldn't be down there Narcan and people, over and over and over again. Can you imagine the firemen from that hall, 8,000 responses. How many of them are going to need help with PTSD?
Most of them.
Like that's where I go, hey, the pathway we're walking and what we're learning, that's massive. Because we're going to help those people. The microdoses, the products, the health products, the mind-changing products, the stuff that we're putting together and developing, the medicines that we're experiencing right now and learning to facilitate, those are going to change those lives. You know, they are. All of that, it's a huge spark of hope, knowing that these things work and what they do. And as we learn more about them, as we do more research on them, you know, it's funny because, hey, did you start on your pathway to help a whole bunch of people, or did you start on this pathway to help yourself?
Oh, well, to heal myself. And then when it works, you want to get loud about it. Like, I mean, that's what happened with cannabis. That's what happened with psilocybin. That's what happened with iboga. That's what's happened with 5-MeO-DMT, combo, hape, cacao. Like, it's beautiful medicine. And yeah, I'm you know, never thought that I'd do this, but here we go.
Yeah. And for me, I was looking for a way to help myself heal and maybe help my daughters. And, you know, stuff I'm learning, cannabis oil, that full extract cannabis oil, that should be mandatory at every detox. It doesn't matter if you're detoxing off crack, if you're detoxing off meth, if you're detoxing off fentanyl, that black oil should be there. And they should be administering that oil. What it does, you know, I've used it with people. I've detoxed people using it, and it's honestly, it's a miracle to watch what happens when it's used. Why is it not being used by our government? Our government's out there, oh, recreational weed for ridiculous prices, yay! But how about we get the stuff together to help people?
Because they don't say it helps people. When you look at these recovery processes, if you go into a recovery house, you're not allowed to have weed.
Yeah, I know.
So even though they've legalized it for recreational purposes and they've allowed us to have it, because that's really what it is. We pushed, and like, you know, they've made a medical program, but they would love to get rid of that medical program. They would absolutely love to get rid of that medical program. It would give them so much joy, because then they can say it's all recreational and all belongs over here with booze.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
No, the aspects and the strength that oil has, the full plant extract, what it has for healing, you know, and there's actually quite a bit of science on it. And the science only goes to a point. It always goes to, hey, we think that it could be doing, and then it never goes any further because, you know, nobody funds it to go any further because it's a plant and natural and you can grow it, and, you know, but in my experience of watching and using it and what it's done for me in my healing, like seriously, you know, I was whining and complaining about my sciatica, and a bunch of people, including you, but not just limited to you, jumped on me. Hey, are you using your cannabis oil, or are you using your microdoses?
Are you using your cream?
Well, when I do, guess what?
Pain goes away.
It's amazing. I do a couple grains of rice of the oil. I do a microdose. I put a little cream on there. I'm good for 6-7 hours before I feel anything again. It's amazing. You know, I gotta walk the talk. Apparently I was talking without doing the talking. But you know, that's part of being human, though. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of us know what we're supposed to do, and we're telling everybody else what to do, and then we're not doing it ourselves. But apparently I forgot to turn my phone down.
It happens.
Oh man. No, I see a healing path coming with the medicines, and I had a vision of a pathway out for people. that are stuck in some of the harshest addictions. And it was like a little snapshot vision. And then I've taken that to a few people that are, I consider quite brilliant in their fields, and I very much look up to, and they've all said that's a great vision, and we think we can see it working. So, right at this point, that it's an avenue that we are working on of putting away together for the detox and to work through the why of the addiction and the trauma, but utilizing plant medicines and toad medicine or frog medicine, because the Cambo would be in there for a detox for sure. It does so much for the detoxification. And then once you've got that out, then you can let me flip that onto quit quacking. Once you've detoxed, etc., then it's about rebuilding the gut biome, getting the stuff in to heal the brain, the microdoses, the lion's mane, all of the nutritional aspects for the gut. It's about rebuild the system, because you've depleted and kicked the shit out of it. But firstly, it's let's get the detox to happen in a healthy, good way, and I think that the plant medicines, I think that we may be finding that way, and I'm honestly, I'm praying that we're gonna that it's going to work. I'm praying that it's all going to be. I'm praying that the picture that I had flashed to me is a real possibility, and so far everything says it is. And I tell you, for me, it's a glimmer of hope, and it's a glimmer of light, and I'm just honestly, I'm honored to be on the pathway with everybody, including you, walking along and helping people. Like, wow, it's amazing, and again, I'm going to throw kudos out to John, because if he hadn't kicked my ass, none of this, that question I asked you, did you see yourself here a year ago? Every month I go, wow, didn't see myself here. Wow, didn't see it keeps changing. It was never in my plan or vision. And I'm just really glad that I have people around me that can see my path better than I can, and drop the vision in front of me. Go, whoa, I see what you're doing. Oh, they look. Oh, can you see this? And then I go, oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, when reality is I was just stumbling along. But I have to say thank you to my support team, that my friends, my family, you. It's a beautiful life, even though for many years I might have thought it wasn't. But when you fall and trip amongst the rocks and get a few bruises, you much appreciate sitting on the top of the peak on the grass looking out over the valley.
Yep.
Well, how was my rant? Do I have more rant? Something has to be done. Seriously, I don't know what can be done, but I know that if we all get together, or we all work to fixing the cause rather than to run them out of the area where we just don't have to look at it. Let's fix the root causes. And the root cause isn't the addiction.
If you start fixing the root causes, especially to people that haven't reached that point yet, you're going to stop people from heading there. And the more you can do that, the stronger we will be as healers. And then if we can pluck one person at a time from that fate and help them reclaim their life, then they can turn around and help us pluck again. And the more people we have reaching out that have been there. So it can't be the politicians. It can't be the people in the suits. It can't be the doctors, because they haven't been there. And I'm not talking about all of them. Some of them have, but stereotypically, the majority of them haven't. And, you know, they haven't been on the streets. They haven't been homeless. They haven't been that addicted, you know, and run by the drugs or alcohol. You know, so you need people who have been there, people who understand, people who have, you know, been sitting down there at their bottom and had somebody else reach their hand out and they've climbed it because they know what the climb is like.
Well, you know, if you cut off them pensions, some of those politicians might end up down there. Just saying.
And we will be there with a handout helping them back up too, because we are beautiful humans.
Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, it's I honestly, I just have to say to people, go down there, even if it's just to drive through, but don't look through scared eyes at a bunch of people on drugs on the streets. Go through there going, is that my brother? Is that my sister? Is that my kid? Look at them. Take a look, because every one of them is somebody's child, somebody's parent, somebody's brother, somebody's sister. Every one of those was a little baby that was born innocent. And everyone deserves a little bit of love and respect. You know, it's there's a reason they have that community down there. And it's because they're trying to keep themselves alive. They're trying to keep each other alive. They're trying to survive. You know, they call it a war on drugs. It's a war on mental health. Fuck your war on drugs. You guys are playing with the drugs, making shitloads of money with them on both avenues, the dark side and the government's. Well, they're both dark sides, the government one and the gangster side, you know. But the reality is, how about we focus on the mental health? If we focus on fixing the mental health and working on the mental health, I figure easily 80% of that will clear up. How about we work on that? You know, and the housing solutions. Let's work on the housing solutions. We seem to have lots of money to build bike lanes. We got lots of money to put pretty flowers on the islands between every frickin' intersection. We got money to do all sorts of things to bring in the visitors to the city. Well, how about we clean that area up? Because you bitch about it through all of those fucking stories. You're bitching about that area. Stay away, stay away. How about we clean it up? How about we fix it up? How about we turn all of those people into I don't even have a word. What have we turned them into? You read the stories, we've turned them into something. We've turned them into villains. We've turned them into druggies. We've turned them into drug dealers. We've turned them into junkies. We've turned them into addicts. We've turned them into homeless. Or the new word, what's the new word? I love the word salad game. Fuck you and your words. Don't change the word. Change the fucking problem. Sorry, what was the new word?
Unhomed.
Unhomed. George Carlin. This is where George Carlin shone. You know? Yeah, don't fix the problem. Just change the word. Yeah, we're shell shock, battle fatigue. Oh, PTSD. It's the same fucking problem. We change the word and we don't fix the fucking problem. And we're doing the same thing here. Oh, let's use a cushier, nicer word. It doesn't seem so bad. Fuck your word salad games. Pensions, baby. Take away the pensions. Oh, I'm probably going to get in trouble. But hey, Mayhem's been in trouble before. Oh, is it time? 59:24. Hey, it's that time again. Thank you for joining us here on the Mushie Moment with my co-host Cindy, myself, and our awesome guests, us.
And you pointed the wrong way because I'm on the other side of you today.
Oh, you did that on purpose. We're proud to be coming to you live from paceradio.net, CBG TV. See you next week with more exciting people and guests and information and mush. Love.
Bye.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.